Wow, it's been a busy year for all of us and all of you. It demonstrates the importance of the work that you do for us and for our members. It's greatly appreciated. To speak more on that, I would now like to introduce the President of the Professional Institute of the Public Service of Canada, Jennifer Carr.
Wow! Bienvenue tout le monde. Bon matin. Bonjour toutes et tous. On est ici à la belle ville de Montréal. Je parle français. Oui, de la région de Québec. Je suis la fière présidente de l'Institut professionnel de la fonction publique du Canada. On est beaucoup de membres. On est maintenant à peu près 75 000 de membres partout au Canada. On est des gens qui travaillent pour le gouvernement fédéral, provincial, dans les provinces, dans le secteur de santé, le secteur des domaines d'ingénieurs comme moi. Et puis, merci à tous. Avez-vous la belle vidéo? C'est toi qui l'avais fait. C'est vous qui l'avez fait, le moment. Pour eux qui ne me connaissent pas, mon nom est Jennifer Carr. Mes pronoms sont she, her, elle. Et j'ai parlé 2 langues officielles, donc n'hésitez pas de me parler dans la langue de vos choix. Mon discours aujourd'hui va être ça va être en anglais parce que mon serveur ne marche pas bien le matin. Mais tu sais que je suis capable de répondre aux questions, donc n'hésitez pas. On est dans un moment historique. Aujourd'hui, on commence la 104e AGA, la première convention pour l'Institut. Ça veut dire qu'on ne va pas juste faire le business, on ne va pas juste faire des résolutions pour changer le cours de la vie de l'Institut, mais on va prendre le temps d'inspirer, de reconnaître les gens pour faire une vision pour l'Institut pour les prochaines 5 années, pour être ensemble comme une communauté. On avait eu les belles expériences ce matin, mais moi, c'est très important que j'ai reconnaître que nous sommes sur le territoire Jayajaga, Montréal, le territoire non cédé de la Ganagay Nation ou la Nation Mohawk. Et le berceau d'ici, c'est plusieurs nations, Premières Nations. Tu sais, il n'est pas plaisant d'être sur la stage toute seule. Tiens, je vais prendre l'eau. On est ici ce week-end pour prendre soin de nos cours, de nos cerveaux, de faire un peu d'énergie, d'élever nos activismes. C'est très important qu'on prenne le temps de discuter avec tout le monde dans la salle, d'avoir des belles expériences, de connaître les expériences de tous nos membres. Comme plusieurs de personnes ce matin ont dit, l'Institut, c'est plus qu'un syndicat, nous sommes une communauté. On a besoin d'avoir un espère de communauté et d'avoir une visée à être informé comme une communauté. Ici, à Québec, ma province propre, il est en grève à ce moment. La solidarité est importante pour un syndicat, mais pour le mouvement, pour tous les travailleurs et travailleuses. Donc ici, si tu ne viens pas de la belle province de Québec, on est dans un front commun pour les négociations avec le gouvernement du Québec. On est 75 000 membres qui ont grève générale illimitée. Illimité, ça veut dire on ne sait pas quand ça va finir. Mais la plupart du monde, c'est sur la rue, il fait les grèves. Et ça, c'est pour les professions de primaire et secondaire dans la fédération étant d'enseignants. Okay, now I'm going to switch to English. Like I said in French, my brain works better in the morning, or not in the morning, so. Why are we here? Why are we here? We're all here because we are activists, because we want to create a better world for their working world. We want to create a better world for our children, and we want to create a better world for all of Canada. So today, we start a historic event. It's not just an AGM. Last year, you heeded the call of the board to have something different, to bring us forward and to make us more united and more energized and more engaged in our community. We brought together over 700 delegates in this room, and we have for the very first time members who can participate virtually no matter where they are in Canada. And that's super important for inclusion. Thank you. There are things that the pandemic taught us, and one of those things is that we can do our work from anywhere. So why not live that experience? Why not be that? So Paul is going to find out how many people are online, but it's important that everyone can have a voice and everyone can make decisions on behalf of the Institute. So this year we're going to celebrate, we're going to learn, and we're going to build relationships. On day one, today, we're going to learn from our labor leaders. We're going to have a presentation from the CLC and the FTQ. We're going to inspire about what's happening in the labor world. Day two, we're going to have discussions, and we're going to talk about how to build communities. We're going to have tough conversations about the budget. And then we are going to go on to day three. We're going to look at the work that the Institute is doing to make sure that we participate fully in reconciliation. They're going to be amazing speakers. They're going to be interesting sessions. And we, of course, this year we're going to celebrate all of you. All of the work that you have done over the year. This year we're going to have a gala and we're going to have some fun. Last year I asked everybody in this room to speak to 5 people. How many did that? Come on, I know there's more than that. Okay, well then I'm going to challenge you this year. I'm going to challenge you this time because we're here for 4 days to talk to 10 new people. Talk to someone that you don't know from another region, from another sector, from another province, to find out what they want as a vision for our Institute to be. When I think about the Institute, when the board thinks about the Institute, when the staff that drive and do the work behind us, we think of the Institute as having unlimited potential. We need to move forward and make sure that we represent all of our members, that we are a beacon for progress, so that people will come and look to us and say, hey, that's the union I want to be in. That other unions come to us and say, how did you do that? Can you show us the way? And that we are on the larger stage so that we can influence policies, move governments, and have the strength and solidarity to do that together. We need to make sure that we motivate everybody, that we wake up the spirit that is inside every union activist to do better, to put their foot in the water and take up a challenge to join us in our journey. The board, I, and the leaders of this institute have a very, very ambitious goal for PIPS. It's going to take some muscle. It's going to take some changing, but I'm going to share that vision with you. First, we have to provide the agency and the support to achieve all our shared vision. What does agency mean? It means trusting the people with the lived experience. It means trusting those at the table who want to do better. We need to clarify our roles and our responsibilities. Sometimes our rules are a little unclear. Sometimes we rely too much on our volunteers and we don't have the staff support. And we're going to make sure that we define and give you clear accountability and structure to get your job done. We're going to continue to invest in tools and technology and training to deal with our weaknesses, because we have a few. We have a few weaknesses that we have to address. And we at the Institute are going to talk openly and unabashedly about our successes. I know there's a lot of successes in this room. This week I had the pleasure of signing off on 2 collective agreements. That's 2 more down. Our top three, our largest groups have come to an agreement to ratify their contracts. We have 2 ratifications and 1 ongoing. So I want to take a time to shout out to the SP group. Enzo, where are you? Enzo, there you go. And Brian and your SP team. And where's Mary and Doug? Mary and Doug. There. Well, I see Mary. There's Doug. There's Doug. AFS. And then we have Rob and Stan and the IT group. Not to forget our provincial employers. We have gone and done some reopening of the Bill 124 restrictions. So we're almost completed for our radiation therapists in Ontario. Are you guys here? There you are! Awesome. We still have a few more to do, but you know, I think we need to talk about our successes. But for those who are at the table and aren't getting success, you are a success story too. Je pense de Eric Massey, puis Lynn Olsen. T'es où? Where's Eric? There you go. As the SH group knows what they're fighting for. This is a historic round for the SH group, and we have to make sure that we make the gains at the table that make sure that we are able to continue providing the services that are critically needed while confronting outsourcing, burnout, and other things that the government knows are existing but are unwilling to address. So we're gonna celebrate that we're still at the table, because the deal that the employer is giving them is not good enough. We are making progress when it comes to being a leader in contracting out. $7 billion the government has committed to finding and reducing and contracting out. That's the very first time that the government has even admitted that they have a problem. I feel like we need to put them in some sort of AA for contracting out. We in this room know there's a lot more than $7 billion to find. And if we have more voices and more boots on the ground, we can do that. And finally, we need to create a culture that's bigger than just ourselves. That's bigger than just the group. That's bigger just in the region. That's bigger than us. We have to be on all stages to make sure that we can continue to grow and be the beacon of progress that we want to be. So how do we get there? Everybody loves buzzwords, right? But they're just buzzwords until we put them into action. So we're going to have to do some hard work. We're going to have to do some reflecting. And we need to make sure that everybody is going to be accountable and that we're going to be collaborative. So one of the things I'm going to ask of you when you think of how do we get there is we need to emphasize letting go of old grudges, past blueprints, and embracing risk and sharing our failures honestly. Because if we don't share our failures, we can't grow. And we need to continue to evaluate the services that we provide. The services that we provide to our members, that we at the Institute provide to you as volunteers. And in general, we can always do better. Of course, this isn't going to be easy. 103 years we've sat on this, at this forum, and we've done things, and we've made resolutions. We've done things that are reactive and not proactive. We need to have a bigger vision. And that starts here in this room. That starts with you thinking of a better way and a better future. Instead of complaining, rolling up our sleeves and saying we can do better, and asking how being better will be better for us. That was a very awkward phrase, huh? How did my interpreters do? It's going to start in this room. And it's already started. It's going to start in this weekend when you sit at one of your panel discussions, when you sit with a colleague who's bringing you into the fold, or you're going to sit and listen to our leaders and think, hey, I'm inspired. There's something I can do differently. And it starts with every conversation you're going to have from this point forward. Everybody knows I have dyslexia in this room, so it's really hard for me to read. We're going to have some debates. And we're going to have different opinions, and we're going to have different views. We're going to have learning opportunities this weekend so that we can, think about where we're going. You're going to bring those back to your constituent bodies and to your communities. You're going to bring them back to your workplace. And you're going to make sure that you take that energy forward. It's going to start also this weekend when one of our presenters, because I know it'll happen, is going to say something that's going to make you uncomfortable. And it's going to take a moment for you to sit with that discomfort, think about what was really being said, and say, okay, we can move forward, we can look at this, and we can find common ground. Not everything needs to be a battle. It's going to start when all of us embrace this new reality, that unions need to evolve to represent all their members, to represent every community, and to represent all workers. And that's going to start today. So, Sean in the video and some other discussions have told you what we've done. I'm going to talk unabashedly. Again, talked about the collective agreements, super important. When I started out, I had 32 collective agreements, and I think I'm down into the mid-20s. So that's an achievement. That means everybody now has better improvements in their working lives. We have a case management system. How many of you know that we now can track every single grievance in every single department right now? That gives us the data that we need to support the tables of consultation, to support the tables of negotiation. We have that data. So this year alone, we've opened 2,500 cases. That's 2,500 cases that your EROs are working hard on, that members have come to us and asked us to help them. On top of that, we've had 25,000 inquiries. That's 5,000 members who have come to us with a problem or a question and have found a solution or have found their voice. That's not counting all the grievances that you've done in this room, because not everyone puts their grievances in the system. So that's a hell of a lot of work that we've done on behalf of our members. You have done on behalf of our members. So Recognize yourselves, please. Like I said earlier, we become the advocacy window for governments to come to, for newspapers, for civil society partnerships, to have a leadership voice when it comes to contracting out, when it comes to things that return to office, embracing presence with purpose, because that's what it's about. AI, artificial intelligence, something that we're going to talk about in the third day. And we are investing in our technologies. We have future projects that are on our books because we have lots of things to fix. We've invested in equity, diversity, and inclusion because remember when I said your union has to represent you? The lived voices need to be at the table. So this year, in the last 2 years, we have grown those voices. We have grown the amount of webinars and engagement that they can have with us as leaders. So I want to make a few shout outs here because we've done excellent work. Greg Scriver, where are you? You saw Greg this morning. Greg has led us for 2 consecutive Indigenous Lobby Days on the Hill. That is incredible work. Thank you, Greg. It is important to create spaces so that those that don't feel like their union hears them have a space to come forward. I'd like to say there's a big positive shift in this room, and I noticed it right away. When I started 22 years ago, I'm just a youngin', 22 years ago with the Institute, there's homogeneity. Is that a word? Did I just make that up? Homogeneity in the room. And I see that we are getting the diversity that reflects our membership in the leadership roles to make those changes. I want to shout out to the HRDC under Greg and under Jenny for opening those spaces. Jenny, where are you? Because I already, there you go. Jenny, for opening those spaces. We now have caucuses that can feed into us their thoughts, their opinions on how we can do better and how we can move forward. But once we open those doors for those people who have a voice, they join us. They join us in this room. And to our young people, where are you? Under 30. Under 30. There we go. Under 35. Oh, God, they're shy. Text me. Text me. Let me know you're in the room, okay? The board has embraced and has put resources towards making sure that we have youth committees, because if we don't grow, we will die. If we don't have new people coming in to take those leadership roles and to take a vision forward, there's no point. We will die. So all that lived experience makes us better. And this clicker doesn't make it better. All these investments are paying off. 12 years ago, the Professional Institute was not a member of the larger House of Labour, the Canadian Labour Congress, but now we are getting mentioned by name. The last Canada Council meeting, I sat at the table with all the leaders in the federations of the provinces and got 4 shout-outs for our work. From nothing to 4. I'm going to tell you that's a big deal. I said one more, they'd have to get me a hat. We really need to celebrate those accomplishments. We need to know that every time that media comes to the Institute to make a statement, that is all because of the work that you are doing on the ground. That's not me. I have the role of standing here on the stage, sweating because the lights are too hot, nervous because I didn't eat enough this morning. But every day, your email tells me where I'm going. Your group, your region, says we can do better. Consultation presidents, where are you? Every single day I get to take the work that you do upward. Yes, consultation presidents. Hard, hard role. Get to take that work forward and say, when Treasury Board or employer comes forward and says, this is how it's working. It's every single Okay, who's filming me? Please don't put those on my bloopers. That give me the energy to say that's not how it's working. And that is the power of having many people on the ground, many eyes and ears in the workplace, so that we can make sure the reality is known by those at the top. Because we all know that middle management is not telling them the truth. So the goal of the union is not to remain static. It's not to maintain status quo. It's to catapult us further. To have us do more, have us represent more, have us be more. And what is that going to take? At this convention, we're going to have some tough conversations about our future and what we need to invest in and how much it's going to cost. So I'm telling you that I'm here to just give you a primer and why I am and the board is and the advisory council is asking that you support your budget and support a dues increase. Because the reality is that inflation since our last dues increase, and who knows when that was, 2016, after coming out of 8 years of conservative government, dealing with DRAP, Deficit Reduction Action Plan, they had those nice signs. Do you remember those signs? Yep. We have ambitious goals to fix things that are necessary, and we have to get ready for the future. Like I said, since 2017, inflation rates have gone up by 23%, according to the Bank of Canada, because I like to quote my sources. Our dues have remained the same. They've been stagnant all that time. And what we need right now is an increase to make sure that we can not only maintain status quo, but we can deliver the services that our members deserve. We have ambitious goals. And I'm going to make some statements. Remember those things about making statements that might make you feel uncomfortable? How many times have you in this room complained about something at the Institute? Yeah. Yeah, you guys are shy. Like, I know you have, because I got the... How many times have you heard that you can't navigate our website? There's a big giggle down here. How many times have you had a chance to try and get information but can't reach somebody? Or you've gone once or twice and tried to get the information that you need to do the work that you have? Our consultation team presidents, they got the shout out there. They've been starving for resources. Our EROs have been helping them off the side of their desks, and it's time that we invest in getting them the resources so our volunteers don't burn out, that they have the resource to help them with the fight for all of our members. And the reality is, whether you like it or not, the future's coming. The last 8 years with the Liberal government have not been easy. But what is coming, or what is projected to be coming, is going to be even more difficult. They're going to start looking for cuts in the public services. This despite the fact that the per capita rate of public service professionals is equal to that of 2012. We need to make sure that we are ready to help when something comes up. The reality is in 2016, when we went for that dues increase, we were broke. We had used everything and we did not have anything left in the coffers to fight. We don't want to be in that same position because those wonderful collective agreements that are signed right now, they're 3 years in the future. And we have to be ready. We have to be ready, especially if we're going to start motivating our members to consider doing a strike. Consider taking job action. Consider pushing the employer to do better. And the reality is, AI is coming after our jobs as well. When we look to the future, or we look to the past, the last 2 revolutions in the workforce happened when we automated for, car making and other sort of things. And the second one was when we computerized. Is that a word, computerized? When we took away the typing pools and the receptionists, and we relied more on technology. But AI is coming for our jobs, knowledge worker jobs. So we have to be ready, like every other union has done before us in the trades, and say, okay, we can do this. So I'm excited that we will have a presentation of some of that forward-thinking investments tomorrow, I think, on how we can get our members ready for the future. Because if you're a programmer, which I could never do, AI is taking that role. If you're an auditor, it's taking that role. You synthesize data, it's taking that role. But that doesn't mean that there's not roles for our knowledge workers of the future, and we just have to make sure that you are ready to take those new steps, those forward steps, and we need to be there to help you. And again, our union and our country are facing external threats that we have little or no control over. Like I said, now is the time for us to be proactive and not reactive. So what does proactive look like? What does it look like for you? Because what it looks like for me is that we have the most engaged membership than we've ever had before. That every one of those seats that we have on executives or regions or groups or branch, there are people who want to step up. And I'll give you an example because committees of the board have just come out. We have had the most applicants for committees of the board than we've ever had before. That says we're engaging our members. We need to have every member see and believe in our actions and want to be part of our community. We need to have solidarity with all of the other unions. How many here were on a picket line with the Alliance this year? Awesome. Thank you. I want to say, and I've said it probably a lot of Stewart Council, that you don't know how much that action actually had on the employer. The fact that the Professional Institute, not only in that video, was lobbying at 60 Elgin, so that's the home of Treasury Board, but also on bases. Borden. We went to Borden. We were out in Victoria. We were in Toronto, GTA. Good job, guys. The employer noticed the solidarity, and guess what? That scares them, because the role of the employer is to divide and conquer. And when we stand in solidarity with our other union partners, with the larger House of Labor, they can't do that. Proactive looks like when you go to our website, you'll be able to access the information you need. That when you type in health benefits, that you get the right webpage. That you have high levels of support when you call. And that you have user-friendly systems no matter where in the region or in the country that you live. And we have to be innovative. And finally, we have to have a union that respects, supports, and empowers every activist in this room, especially our volunteers. We cannot do this work without anybody in this room We would just be too poor. So friends, I'm asking that you take this week and learn and come up with what you want us to be. I'm asking that you stand in solidarity with other groups, with other regions, with us. Stand up together and create PIPS so that it be the pride of every labor movement, that we are the beacon of progress, that every member in your workplace comes to you first and says, I need help. And you have to say to them, sorry, you're an Alliance member. Wouldn't that be a great vision? That is what progress looks like. So are you ready for this week? Are you excited for this week? Are you looking for something different for the future to come? Chers délégués, je fais un appel de votre solidarité. Je demande votre appui. Je demande un effort collectif pour faire cette vision. En réalité, la passion maintenant, la passion pour prendre tes questions, j'aimerais bien savoir ce que tu vas me dire. Merci. Thank you.